Hello everybody. Big thank you for watching this channel, supporting this channel. It means a lot to me. In this video I'm going to discuss how trauma is a gift and why there are no victims. And I know it can sound like, what are you talking about? How is trauma a gift, Matt? Trauma is just makes me feel bad and makes me do things I don't want to do, and it's so dark. And you're right, it is all those things. Our trauma does make us feel bad, it does make us act unconsciously, and it is really dark. But here's the thing, and this is why I say it's a gift. When we work through our trauma, so say I'll just use my own example. I've been a really anxiety prone and fearful person my whole life. So whether it was from childhood or past lives or, in my heart, I feel like we all come into this evolutionary reality with a lot of karma or conditioning. That's just another really word for trauma. And the reason we choose to incarnate into an evolutionary reality is so that we can integrate the darkness into light. And that's why I feel, chose to come here, is so that we can learn the process of alchemizing darkness into light, meaning we can learn the process of resolving our traumas, resolving our inner darkness. And here's the thing, to really transform trauma. So, our anger transforms into our power. The trauma of fear transforms into an excitement for life. And that's been a big one for me. I feel more excited and motivated and open to experiencing life in all its depth than I ever have been. And that's through the gift of healing my trauma of all the fear I've had to really work through. I've always had such a fearful mind of this is going to happen, and then this is, just projecting fear of these made up scenarios. I really handcuffed myself from experiencing the depth of life because of all my fear. And sadness, the trauma of deep grief and sadness, that transforms into this amazing joy and playfulness. And so you'll notice that all these darker emotions, all this trauma that you've absorbed and accumulated either in this life or past lives, through opening to it, through feeling it, through learning to accept it and to not judge yourself for having it, and to not judge how you may have received it, through that process, you begin to alchemize this darkness, and it begins to transform these lower and darker emotions and this trauma. But here's the real key. Here is the real gift, the essence of this message. In order to fully transform our trauma and bring it into the light, we must learn to love our trauma. And this truly means we must learn to love ourselves. And I feel that's why we as souls incarnated into form in an evolutionary reality, so we could learn the process of how to love. And it's easy to love when you're feeling peaceful and joyful and happy and everything going right, and you're not being burdened with heavy and dark emotions, right? But unconditional love is very difficult when the darkness, the trauma, the pain is surfacing. And this is the art of unconditional love, is you are loving no matter what. And so this is the big point I want to make. So if you can learn to love your darkness and accept yourself for having it, And if you can learn to love your fear, your anger, your sadness, your grief, your guilt, whatever the darkness is for you, you're going to be able to really love others unconditionally. And your unconditional love for yourself and your own darkness is going to radiate outward for others. And this is so beautiful when we can work through and peel back layer after layer of our trauma by having the courage, the inner courage to go within and to do the inner work of sitting with our pain, sitting with our trauma and our darkness and feeling into it and empowering ourselves to move through it without feeling a victim to it, but to see how it is serving us. When we can really harness the power of our darker emotions by allowing them to come up, by feeling them, by completely opening to them without judgment, and by accepting them, and then finally by learning to love these darker emotions, then what we're really doing is we are waking up to the God within us, to the divine within us, and then we become somebody who can help others do the same thing. And it's not about going to people with spiritual concepts and your spiritual ego and telling them what's right and what's wrong and how to live their life. No, it's just by being an example of someone who loves themselves unconditionally. And that is the most transformative, the most powerful thing you can do for anybody, is to just love yourself unconditionally. The reason that loving yourself unconditionally is the most powerful thing you can do for anyone else, and is the greatest gift you can give anyone else, is because it's all one. It's all one collective consciousness. All of our consciousness comes from the same source. So when you heal the trauma within you, when you heal your darkness and your wounds, and when you integrate all of the pain that you may be feeling, all of the fear, the anger, the sadness, whatever it is, you do that for the collective. You are contributing to the healing of the collective. And right now, if you look at our world, we have a major reflection of darkness. We have a major reflection of unconsciousness in the collective. So you having the courage to go within and to heal your trauma by feeling it and opening to it, and having the bravery to say, yes, it exists, and yes, I will go into it, and yes, I will open to it and accept it without judgment, and I will love it. This is so powerful, and is something that is going to just accelerate the evolution and the ascension of the whole planet. And it's such huge work you're doing, it's such important work, and it is such difficult work. So really just be so, just appreciate yourself for doing this work, and take care of yourself, and know that you did choose to come here on some level to heal all of this, we could say karma and conditioning, and to come to such a beautiful evolutionary reality where it takes yin and yang, light and dark. And you came here so you could become a master at integrating the darkness into light, at integrating your sadness into joy, integrating your anger into power, integrating your fear into excitement, integrating your hopelessness into hope. And this is like the most exciting thing for a soul to do, is to come into an evolutionary reality and to be able to alchemize and to know itself through darkness and light, and to better know the light through it going into its darkness. It's a beautiful reality if you think about it. And that by doing this, that you're setting a beautiful example for other souls to learn. And it's this co-creation, this collaborative effort that we're all learning to work through our trauma together as one. And we're all being a shining example for one another of how this all works through love, through loving yourself, and through loving yourself, how that radiates outward. And if we can all find self-love, it's so easy to love everyone else. It's when we're having trouble loving, if you can't feel your love, then no one else can, right? So that's the message I wanted to share with you guys today. I hope that it resonates. I love you all very much, and I will see you in the next video. Namaste.